The suitcase in the attic. When truth heals, how many secrets are buried in the attics of our past? How many truths have been hidden, locked away, waiting for the right moment to be revealed? And what if the freedom you've been searching for isn't somewhere far away, but resting quietly in a forgotten corner of your own story? Tonight, I want to share with you the story of Abigail Miller, a granddaughter who, while helping her grandmother pack up an old house in Savannah, Georgia, stumbled upon a dusty suitcase in the attic. What she found inside changed her life forever. It brought healing not only to her heart, but to an entire family broken by silence. If you believe that God can bring light out of hidden places, if you believe that even in the deepest shadows of your past He is working, then like this video, share it with someone you love, and subscribe to this channel, because when truth enters, chains break, and when God brings hidden things to light, miracles begin. Abigail had always loved visiting her grandmother's house. The old farmhouse held a charm of its own. Porches where cicadas sang on summer nights, oak trees heavy with Spanish moss, rocking chairs that told stories without words. But there was also a silence, a weight, a mystery. Family gatherings were filled with laughter, but whenever the past was mentioned, the air seemed to grow heavy. Abigail felt it, like a door that no one dared to open. One hot afternoon, as boxes piled up for her grandmother's move, Abigail decided to explore the attic, a place she had never been allowed to enter as a child. She climbed the narrow staircase, each step groaning under her weight, until she pushed open the creaky wooden door. And there in the farthest corner, covered by a moth-eaten quilt, she found it. An old leather suitcase worn with time, tied shut with a faded ribbon. Abigail knelt down and opened the suitcase. Inside were fragments of another world, yellowed letters, faded photographs torn in half, and at the bottom, a birth certificate. Her eyes froze on the name, Michael Johnson, born January 3rd, 1952, Charleston, South Carolina. She whispered the name aloud, tasting it like something forbidden. Michael. But who was Michael? Why had she never once heard his name at any family gathering? Why had no story, no photo on the walls ever mentioned him? She carried the certificate downstairs. When her grandmother saw it, her hands trembled, her lips pressed tight as if holding back words that could no longer be spoken. She sighed deeply, whispered something that sounded like a prayer, and remained silent. That night, Abigail heard her grandmother through the thin bedroom walls, sobbing, praying quietly to God, asking for forgiveness. Abigail returned to the suitcase the next morning. This time, she noticed the old Bible tucked between the letters. Its leather was cracked, its pages worn from years of touch. Several verses were highlighted, but one appeared again and again, underlined in fading ink. For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be brought to light. Luke 8:17. In the margins were handwritten prayers. Lord, forgive me. Bring healing. Let truth set us free. And then, tucked between the last pages, Abigail found an envelope. Her name was on it. The date, the very day she was born. Her hands shook as she opened it. Inside, her grandmother's handwriting poured across the page. The truth came out like a confession. Michael was not a stranger. He was family, her mother's first child, Abigail's uncle. Born when her mother was just a teenager, Michael had been hidden away to protect the family's reputation. Her grandmother, overwhelmed by fear of gossip and shame, had given him to another family in Charleston. But the decision had torn her apart. She prayed for him every day of her life. She never told a soul. Her grandfather never forgave her for the choice, and so silence became their prison. Abigail sat on the attic floor, tears streaming down her face. She felt anger, confusion, sorrow, but also compassion. That night she fell to her knees. She prayed as she had never prayed before. God, what do you want me to do with this? Show me, heal this wound, restore what was lost. Something inside her told her this wasn't just an old story to leave in the past. This was a call to act. So she began searching, old records, local directories, social media, anything that could lead her to Michael. And then, in what seemed almost miraculous, she found him. He was alive, living just a couple of hours away in Augusta, Georgia. The day Abigail knocked on Michael's door, her heart pounded. She held the letter in her hands. When he opened the door, she saw a man in his 70s with kind eyes, but a heaviness in his soul. She introduced herself. She explained. She showed him the letter. Tears filled his eyes. His voice cracked as he said, "I knew part of the story, but I always wondered if anyone would ever come for me." They embraced, both weeping. Later, she brought him home. When her grandmother saw him standing in the doorway, frail as she was, her knees gave way. She reached out, touching his face like a dream she never thought she'd see again. "I thought hiding the truth was protecting us," she whispered, "but only truth sets us free." The following Sunday, the family gathered. For the first time, they were complete. The table that once held silence was now filled with laughter and tears. Prayers rose from their hearts like incense. Michael opened the old Bible, his hands trembling, and read aloud, "God never wastes a broken story. He takes the shattered pieces and builds something even stronger." The room was filled with a peace no one had ever known before. Years later, Abigail now shares this testimony across the country. She speaks at churches, conferences, and family gatherings. She brings the suitcase with her as a symbol, a reminder that truth, even when painful, is never the enemy. Silence is. On its cover, she placed the verse that changed everything. "Then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free." John 8:32. And so I ask you, how many suitcases lie hidden in the attic of your soul? How many truths have you buried, out of fear, out of guilt, out of shame? But hear this, what is hidden is never forgotten by God. He sees it, He waits, and when you finally open your heart, He steps in. The truth may hurt at first, but it always heals. If this story touched you, send it to someone you love. Share it with your family. Like this video and write in the comments, "I believe in healing through truth," and subscribe to this channel, because sometimes what looks like nothing more than an old forgotten suitcase is exactly the place where God has hidden the beginning of your restoration.